What's good, YT family? It's your brother ELI coming with another KVA video. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Much appreciate the love. Much appreciate the support. It's hot as hell, man. It's about like 90 degrees in Illinois right now, bro. And so if you hear a fan in the background, that's that fan, man. It is just blazing hot right now. So I got the fan running. I hope it doesn't distort the audio much. But I was watching Gills Arena with Nick Young. I believe Kenyon Martin is on it. And things got heated, which is normal, right? Because I feel like deep down they kind of despise Nick Young a little bit in Gills Arena. Shout out to Gills Arena. This could just be just me, but I feel like it's a common theme that they just don't, for some odd reason, they just don't rock with Nick Young. And if you don't know, Nick Young is an NBA player, professional player. Played on numerous teams. I believe he played on the Lakers. He played on Golden State. I believe he won a championship on Golden State, I believe. And that's pretty much all I really remember. Oh, he played on Washington. He played on Washington as well, the Wizards. Same team Gil played on. I think him and Gil kind of had created a relationship when Gil was also in Washington as well. They were on the same team. And they were speaking about Kobe, which for some odd reason, man, Kobe has came up like recently, like in this past week. I've heard numerous players, T-Mac, Dwayne Wade, people speak on Kobe, and it just didn't seem like it was in a good context when they said it when they were just talking about him as of recently. I remember probably not even a week after Kobe Bryant's passing. I don't remember the WNBA player that was getting interviewed. I believe she was getting interviewed by Gayle King or some reporter or some news outlet, and they brought up Kobe Bryant's case. The case that happened a long time ago, and they were saying stuff like, "Oh, do you think this is going to destroy Kobe's legacy, or do you think that Kobe's legacy is a little bit tarnished, being for the case that he had?" And she said, and I wish I remembered this lady, this WNBA player's name. She's such a beautiful heart. She says, "Y'all didn't say anything. Y'all didn't say any of this when Kobe was alive. Like when Kobe was alive and he was working in media, he was working, like." On his own, what would you call it? I want to say podcast, but he had this thing where he was just detailing and talking about all the nuances of how people are playing basketball in today, and he was just voiceovering over it. I think it was called Details or whatever. It was really dope, like extremely dope. Like he was breaking down almost all the players: Jason Tatum, LeBron, Kevin Durant. Even Draymond Green, he was just talking about how these players think and how effective they are on the court. Excuse me. And it was amazing. And she says and she hit it right on the head. She was like, why are y'all talking about this now? He's only been dead for a week, and you guys are already trying to, backdoor him essentially, and talk about him when he's gone, when he can't defend himself, and it was very deep to see who really, because you could tell she was real close to Kobe. She was very, very close to Kobe, and she cared about him. She was his friend, and I'm pretty sure Kobe was looking from afar, appreciating that, as well as probably Kobe would do the same thing for her. Like I think Kobe was just definitely. I don't think he displayed the best, character, which everybody does all the time. But I think deep down Kobe was actually a good person, a very good person. And to people who he gravitated to, and he opened up, his emotions to, and he kept close. The people he didn't respect and people he didn't trust, he kept at a distance. And he was one of those people that just, he didn't seem like the type person to be able to allow anybody in or allow anybody just in their circle, kind of like how LeBron does. And LeBron is my favorite player, by the way. Like that's my GOAT. That's the greatest of all time to me. But Kobe just seems a little bit more guarded in that way. And I don't. I'm almost positive Nick Young. He kind of felt the same way about Nick Young in a way, right? Because Nick Young had a lot of talent, but he was very much a young, flamboyant, funny guy. And Kobe might not have, at least from the outside looking in, Kobe didn't really. I ain't gonna say Kobe didn't like Nick Young, but I don't think that he respected Nick Young's work ethic, which Nick Young has said countless of times that he didn't work as hard as he could have. Right, this is what he said, not me, and that probably played a huge factor in their relationship, especially in the stint that he was on the Lakers and he was playing with Kobe. But however, funny enough, with all these things being going around saying that Kobe wouldn't have done this if it wasn't for Shaq, and if I was in that position, that I would do the same thing if I had Shaq, and I think that was kind of the sentiment that Tracy McGrady, Dwayne Wade, I've heard a few other players say that in a slight way, but those are the two for sure that I overheard or I seen players mention, and Nick Young completely defended that. Like, he completely defended that, like, Kobe was an amazing player and would have been an amazing player with or without Shaq. And it just goes to show that, man, like, you never know. You never know when your last day is going to be. And also, you don't know who's really going to be loyal to you and loyal and true to you and defend you when you're no longer here to defend yourself, defend your character, defend your honor. And it's just interesting enough to see that it came from a person like Nick Young, right? Like, Nick Young has always just seen himself as to be just the goofy guy, the guy who doesn't take anything serious, right? And I'm pretty sure Kobe would even be surprised that Nick Young snapped like that, right? But Nick Young completely snapped. Like, he completely just voiced his opinion that, like, you guys are wrong and I don't agree with you guys, and I don't think that, like, you guys are right, and just because y'all are older than me, I'm not going to give you guys the right to disrespect my opinion, and also I'm not going to give you guys the right to disrespect a coworker of mine, a colleague of mine, a peer of mine, regardless of their relationship that they might have. Because I'm pretty sure that him and Kobe did not have the best relationship. I'm almost positive that Kobe wasn't really fond of Nick Young as well. But it's just funny and interesting to see that, man. Like, you're real friends, or what you consider real friends, are people who defend you and guard you and respect you when you're no longer around and you're not in the room, right? It's just crazy. It's just crazy that, like, Dwayne Wade would say this. It's just crazy that Tracy McGrady would say this. It's crazy. Like, I just don't understand it. And it's like, I feel like the longer Kobe, the farther we go, the longer it becomes, we forget who Kobe was, the more people are just coming out of the woodworks and just saying whatever they want about him. Because obviously 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they wouldn't dare even say such thing. They wouldn't dare say such thing about Kobe. Everybody was just on Kobe's nuts. Like, everyone was a Kobe fan. Everyone was, everyone had stories of, when Kobe did this and when Kobe did this and da 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 da. And it's funny because it's like Kobe never mentioned them like that. Like he like, obviously he respected Dwayne Wade. He respected Tracy McGrady. They've done countless interviews together, him and Tracy McGrady. But for some odd reason, like, all of a sudden everybody has a Kobe story. Everybody, it's just like anything when a rapper passes away or whatever. Everyone had a Nipsey Hussle story. All of a sudden, everyone was best friends with Nipsey. Oh, I remember when me and Nip did this. I remember when me and Nip did that, and da 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 da. And then people, like, even with Kobe. Oh, I remember when me and Kobe, we would practice here and we did this, and it's just always a story. It's always a story when someone passes away that you were somehow, some way best friends with them. Nobody knows. Nobody's ever seen you together with them, but all of a sudden now, like, they were your best friends, and it's just interesting, man. And it just got me thinking, like, man, like, you know, who would be here for me, and who would be true to me when when I'm no longer around. Obviously, that's no, hopefully, prayerfully, God forbid, that's no time soon. But just to think about who would be there for you, who would defend you in that moment when you're no longer here to defend yourself. Who do you think would truly be there for you and actually defend you when people are trying to throw mud on your name? When people are trying to disrespect you, and people are trying to, you know what I'm saying, belittle what you did and what you contributed to the game, because you can't deny what Kobe is. Forget what Shaq did. And this is another thing I just hate with this, in like, this ring culture, right? And these hypotheticals, because this is what people do, is they try to say, like, well, what if this would have happened, then that wouldn't have happened. If this would have happened, then that would have happened. We can only speak about what did happen and what we did see. And what we did see is Kobe was the fucking man. Kobe was the man. He was the man, with or without Shaq. And with or without a ring, Kobe would still be the man. To me, it's not about what a player accomplished. It's about at least this is my perspective, it's about what my eyes see, man, on that court. Allen Iverson doesn't have a ring, and he's one of my favorite players as well. He doesn't have a ring, but I remember seeing how dynamic Allen Iverson was. I remember seeing how dynamic Carmelo Anthony was. I remember seeing how dynamic. I remember watching Tracy McGrady scoring those points, and I don't know how many points he scored, but in 11 seconds. Like, I remember watching that as a kid. Now, does that diminish who he was and what I seen on the basketball court? No. So yes, you could say, oh, well, if you had this help, if you had that help, if you had this guy at this time and all this stuff like that, yes, we could say you could have done. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what we seen on that basketball court was Kobe elevated his game to a height that most of his peers just did not reach. Now, if you want to say he would have never won a ring without Shaq, okay, maybe. But he did. If he didn't have Pau Gasol, then he wouldn't have won a ring with him. Okay, maybe. But he did. And so what? So what? So that's the end of the video. I just wanted to know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Was Nick Young wrong for defending Kobe in that way? Holla at me later. Peace.